Home with God, Chapter 11. You are different from God, but you are not divided from God. That is why you can never die. Now let me return, please, to something else. You said earlier that you would describe some basic spiritual principles of life that would make it easier for us to understand life itself and death. And while you have since touched on several, is there any one single basic life principle that would just throw open wide the door to deeper understanding in one moment? Yes, and this is the sixth remembrance. You and God are one. There is no separation between you. While this may appear to come to be a very elementary piece of information, when you apply this basic principle of life to life, you create a container within which you can hold all the previous remembrances you've brought yourself here, as well as those to come. The implications of the sixth remembrance are enormous. If you are clear that you and God are one, and that there is no separation between you, it changes the context within which you experience that everything in your life has happened, is happening, and ever will happen. To use obvious examples from what we have just been talking about here, an understanding of your unity with the divine makes it far less arduous for you to remember and embrace the truth that you are the cause of your own death, or that there are no victims and no villains in the world. This can make your path to completion less arduous and your death more peaceful. Now, obviously, the individual that is you does not represent the totality of God. Yet you have all the characteristics, all of the aspects, all of the elements of divinity within you. God is you, writ large. Indeed, God is everything. There is nothing that is not God. I've often heard the analogy that I am to God as a wave is to the ocean. The same stuff, exactly, just smaller in size. That analogy has indeed been used many times, and it is not inappropriate. So now, let us define this ocean. Let us propose here that God is the Creator. Very few people who believe in a God at all have an argument with that. Okay, if it is true that God is the Creator, this means that you too are a creator. God creates all of life, and you create all of your life. It's that simple. If you think of it that way, you can hold it in your consciousness. You and God are creating all the time. You on the micro level, God on the macro. Are you clear? Yes, I see. There is no separation between the wave and the ocean. None. The wave is one part of the ocean, acting in a certain way. The wave does the same thing the ocean does, in smaller degree. That is exactly correct. You are me, acting the way you are acting. I give you the power to act as you are acting. Your power comes from me. Without the ocean, the wave does not have the power to be a wave. Without me, you do not have the power to be you. And without you, my power is not made manifest. Your joy is to make me manifest. The joy of humanity is to manifest God. Now there's a statement. Here's another. Life is God made physical. What is important to understand is that there is no single way in which life makes God physical. Some waves are small, barely a ripple, while other waves are huge, thunderous in their sweep. Yet, whether minuscule or monstrous, there is always a wave. There is no time that there is not a wave on the ocean, and while every wave is different, not a single one is divided from the ocean itself. Difference does not mean division. Those words are not interchangeable. You are different from God, but you are not divided from God. The fact that you are not divided from God is why you can never die. The wave lands on the beach, but it does not cease to be. It merely changes form, receding back into the ocean. The ocean does not get smaller every time a wave hits the sand. Indeed, the incoming wave demonstrates and therefore reveals the ocean's majesty. Then, by receding into the ocean, it restores the ocean's glory. The presence of the wave is evidence of the existence of the ocean. Your presence is evidence of the existence of God. I should tack this to my refrigerator. Your presence is evidence of the existence of God. What a great bumper sticker. This explanation is so simple and yet so elegant. So when we say that God and God alone chooses the time of your death, we are saying that humans are part of that process because humans are part of God. Yes, that is exactly right. And when I die, my death will be happening through me, not to me. That is correct. You are now looking at it in a different way. You are changing your perspective. This will change your perception, and it will alter your experience. Perception creates experience. But there is just one last thing that I can't yet put together. Why in the world would I choose to die? Ever? Oh, that's simple. Because you're done, finished, complete.